Development of babies and infants. Characteristics of the development of children aged 0 to 4 years. This video deals with various areas in the development of babies and infants. Humans develop very rapidly in the first 4 years of life. In this respect, this period is considered the most distinctive period in the development of the human body. Developmental events that occur in the first few years of the life of a person greatly affect the health and life of that person in the future. This video explains the development of children up to 4 years of age in the following 6 areas of development: posture and motion, auditory and visual perception, search and manipulation, memory, language, and social interaction. This video was produced not only for professionals in the areas of health, education, and social protection, but also for the parents, family members, and guardians of children in order to improve their understanding and knowledge of the development of babies and infants and to contribute to improving the child-rearing environment. This video is designed to be used widely by professionals including health workers such as family doctors and nurses, teachers in preschools and schools, social workers, professionals in the areas of social protection and welfare, and governmental and non-governmental organizations supporting the development of children. Chapter 1. Posture and Motion. Posture. 1 month old. When a newborn baby is laying on its back, it often turns its face sideways and bends its arms and legs like this baby. Meanwhile, a baby who does not have the muscle strength to resist gravity, such as an extremely low birth weight baby, is often seen with its legs stretched and arms in asymmetric positions. 1 month old. When a newborn baby is exposed to a sudden and intense external stimulus, for example a sudden change in posture or a loud sound, it pulls its arms and legs in tightly as if it is trying to hold on to something. This reaction is called the Moro reflex, and it is one of the primitive reflexes typical of the neonatal period. This reflex gradually disappears around 3 months after birth. 1 month old. As a newborn baby has little head control, it cannot lift up its head when the upper body is raised by pulling on the arms. 3 months old. A 3-month-old baby lying on its back facing upward can put both hands together over the chest and face and put both hands into its mouth. 3 months old. If the upper body of the baby is raised by pulling on both arms, the head rises with the trunk. This indicates that the baby has almost complete head control. If a baby is laid on its stomach, the baby cannot lift its chest from the floor and supports its body with its elbows, but it can lift its head. 4 months old. A 4-month-old baby has good head control. Now you can hold it upright in your arms and it can sit on the floor stably with some support. If you lay the baby on its stomach, it pushes against the floor with both arms and lifts its chest from the floor. At this age, the baby is developing back muscle strength. This baby lying on his back is trying to lift his head by himself using his abdominal muscles. 6 months old. At this age, the baby cannot maintain a stable sitting position without support, so the baby begins to show the parachute reflex to support its body when it loses body balance and begins to fall. This reflex is called the parachute reflex. This video image shows the lateral or sideward parachute reflex. The forward and backward parachute reflexes also appear at this age. Motor. 4 months old. Let's turn our attention to tossing and turning. Babies can toss and turn during sleep as early as the age of 4 months. They lift their legs high and try repeatedly to turn their trunks. They eventually succeed in turning their bodies, but at first they cannot remove their arm from under their body after they have turned. Seven months old. A baby at around the age of 7 months can turn quickly from a lying position and use its hands, arms and knees to sit and crawl. From a prone position, the baby can crawl without lifting its belly from the floor. The baby's leg muscles have become stronger and it can jump up and down when helped to stand. (11 months old). Babies at this age can pull themselves up to standing from the crawling position. Children at around the age of 2 years can perform various actions, including running, walking backwards, and throwing and kicking a ball. Children become able to jump using both feet after their second birthday, but it still seems difficult for them to hop on one foot. (4 years old). Children from around the age of 4 years can hop on one foot without losing balance. Chapter 2. Auditory and Visual Perception. Auditory perception. 1 month old. Newborn babies react to loud sounds with the Moro reflex, a reflex that looks like they're trying to hold on to something. (3 months old). When you make a sound close to the ear of a baby at this age, it slowly turns its head in the direction of the sound. (6 months old). A 5 to 6 months old baby will turn its head quickly in the direction of even a quieter sound. Visual perception. 1 month old. A newborn baby sees objects in front of its eyes only indistinctly, but when you move a brightly colored object, for example something red, slowly in front of its eyes, it follows the movement of the object partway by turning its head. 3 months old. Babies at around the age of 3 months can follow the horizontal movement of an object over a wider range. (5 months old). Once the baby acquires head control, in the sitting position it can follow the movement of an object and gradually improves its ability to follow vertical movement in addition to horizontal movement. 6 months old. The baby also becomes able to adjust its line of sight and the position of its head to follow the movement of items that are revolving. 5 months old. Let's show 2 building blocks to a baby and move them in opposite directions. The baby at the age of 4 to 5 months follows the movement of one of them and pays no attention to the other. 6 months old. A baby at the age of 6 to 7 months looks at each block in turn and begins to recognize and memorize an object that has gone out of sight. Chapter 3. Search and Manipulation. Try to hold wooden blocks. 3 months old. The reaction of extending an arm toward an object that one sees is called reaching. A baby at the age of 3 months just stares at the rattle in front of it but doesn't reach for the rattle voluntarily. If you touch the palm of the baby's hand with the rattle, the baby will hold the rattle.
авсан хүсэл байгаа боловч авч барай.
5 months old. When you show the building blocks to a baby in the sitting position, the baby will stare at the blocks and extend its arm to grab them. But at this age, the baby is not able to grasp the blocks. 6 months old. An older baby can reach for the blocks and grasp them. It holds the block in one hand and brings the block straight to its mouth. Playing with wooden blocks. 7 months old. This baby is holding blocks in each hand. The baby not only puts the blocks in its mouth, but also brings them together and shakes them.
За аваарай.
8 months old. This baby is enjoying transferring the block from one hand to the other. This behavior shows that the baby has acquired the ability to coordinate the movement of both hands to release a block from one hand and hold it in the other. One year and 6 months old. This child has good hand-eye coordination and with care can stack the building blocks high. Two years old. This child is stacking blocks for fun. He enjoys the sense of achievement at having stuck the blocks high. He is learning through play.
Одоо хитгэн үлдсэн биш. За тэгээд.
2 years old. Let's look at copying in block stacking by young children. This child has no intention of copying the form created by the adult and is stacking the blocks as he likes. Three years old. At around the age of 3 years, children begin trying to recreate the same shape as the sample. Four years old. As older children become more dexterous, they can recreate complex shapes. Touching small bells. 7 months old. Let's look at the development of the finger motor skills required for picking up small objects, such as small bells. This baby is trying to pick up small bells. His hand is open and he picks them up using his fingers like a rake. Eight months old. This baby is touching a small bell with her extended index finger, but she cannot pick the bell up because she cannot manipulate her thumb appropriately. (11 months old). Babies at around the age of 11 months can pick up a small bell quickly as they have acquired the ability to move their fingers independently. This baby is picking up small bells and putting them in a jar by herself. She understands the relationship between the jar and the bells. (2 years old). Older children understand the relationship between the jar and the small bells and that between the jar and its lid.
сайн чадсан мундаг.
Sorting by color. 3 years old. 3-year-old children can not only put things in containers and take them out again, but can also separate items according to color into 2 separate containers. 4 years old. This child has invented an efficient method of sorting objects by color before putting them into their respective containers. Putting pieces into a puzzle. 11 months old. Let's look at the development of children in playing wooden puzzles. To solve a wooden puzzle, the child must be able to recognize the relationship between the board and the pieces, the different shapes of the pieces and holes in the board, and the correspondence between the shape of a piece and the hole. This child doesn't seem to understand the relationship between the pieces and the board. (11 months old). This child is trying to put the pieces in the holes on the board, but she has not noticed that the piece should be placed in the hole that is the same shape. (2 years old). This child is trying to match the shape of the piece with the shape of a hole, but she is working by trial and error. (3 years old). At around the age of 3 years, children can first confirm the shapes of the pieces visually and place them in the right holes. Drawing basic pictures. 3 years old. The ability of children to copy shapes develops in stages. They usually learn how to draw a circle, a cross, a square and a triangle in this order. This child has managed to draw a circle but cannot draw a cross. (4 years old). This child can draw a circle, a cross, and a square, but seems to be struggling with drawing a triangle. Drawing freely. 3 years old. Let's see what happens when children draw what they like. This 3-year-old child has tried to reproduce his idea in a picture, but no one else can understand what he has drawn. 4 years old. At around the age of 4 years, children draw pictures that look more and more like pictures, and they can draw pictures with a sense of space. Chapter 4. Memory. Object permanence. 6 months old. This baby is drawn to the toy and is reaching out to play with it. If you cover the toy with a towel, the baby will look away from the toy and make no attempt to search for the toy or to remove the towel. He seems to forget about the toy once it is out of sight. 7 months old. This baby is crawling towards a toy chair. But if you cover the chair with a towel, he starts looking for the toy chair. If you remove the towel, he will see the toy chair and reach out to the chair. He doesn't seem to have a fully developed memory. Eight months old. This baby doesn't look away from the toy when it is covered with a towel, but is trying to play with the toy covered by the towel. "11 months old. The understanding that objects continue to exist even when they cannot be seen because they are covered with something or hidden behind a screen is called understanding the permanence of things. The development of this understanding is considered evidence of the development of the baby's memory. Identify the position. 9 months old. Let's put 2 cups in front of a baby and hide a toy under one of them. Will this baby remember under which cup the toy is hidden and try to find it? Even though she looked right at the toy being put under the cup, she cannot find the hidden toy. "11 months old. Older babies can select the cup under which the toy is hidden. This baby looks happy finding the toy under the cup. He is enjoying this game of Find the Toy." "2 years old. Much older babies can remember under which of 3 cups the toy is hidden. They can also find the toy even if the positions of the cups are changed. "4 years old. Once they have learned how to talk, children can correctly remember which of 3 different picture cards is hidden under each cup. Digit span. 3 years old. To study how many randomly ordered numbers children who have learned how to talk can remember, let's ask children to memorize and repeat a series of numbers. This 3-year-old child can recite up to 3 numbers but not 4. As children grow, the number of numbers that they can memorize at one time increases. This kind of temporary memory, used to memorize a series of numbers in the correct order, is called short-term memory. Chapter 5. Language. Pointing and joint attention. 7 months old. Joint attention is the ability of a person to purposefully coordinate his or her focus of attention with that of another. For example, if a person can look at an object in the line of sight of another person or in the direction pointed to by the other person, that person is considered to have joint attention. This joint attention is important in the development of recognition and language skills because it enables children to learn many things from others. This 7-month-old baby is focusing his attention on the face of the teacher, but will not look in the direction of the teacher is pointing. He has not yet acquired joint attention at this age. 9 months old. This baby notices the pointing motion of the teacher, but the only thing she looks at is the extended finger of the teacher. She cannot pay attention to the object at which the teacher is pointing. 11 months old. At around 10 months of age, joint attention to horizontal pointing can be established. 2 years old. Older children display reliable joint attention not only with respect to horizontal pointing but also to pointing behind them. They also express declarative pointing, that is, pointing at a distant object to draw the attention of others to the object. Understanding and expressing simple nouns. 2 years old. Now, let's look at the development of the child's ability to learn and pronounce the names of simple objects around them. This child cannot name the objects in the picture, but he can point to the objects named by the teacher. This shows that in the early development of language, children understand the meaning of words spoken by others before they learn how to speak themselves. 3 years old. As children grow, the number of words they can produce on their own initiative increases. In the development of vocabulary, children learn nouns first and go through a period called the vocabulary spurt between 18 months to 2 years, during which the number of nouns they can produce increases rapidly. 2 years old. Children begin to point at parts of the body just before their second birthday, starting with simpler words. Gradually, they learn the names of parts of the body in more detail. Three years old.
Чиний хөлчөө айл үлээ? Хөл.
Энэ.
Оо тийм ээ. Гар чин. Гарын хуруу ч айл. Гарын хуруу.
Энэ.
Оо сайн байна. Тохоо.
Тохоо юу?
Тохоо.
Энэ.
Тохоо юм уу? Тохоо. Мөр.
Мөрөө. Энэ.
Нуруу. Нуруу ч айл.
Энэ.
Аа сайн биш. Хүзүү.
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 Understanding adjectives. 2 years old. Let's look at children's understanding of antonyms such as large and small. These two red circles differ slightly in size. 2-year-old children cannot always select the larger of them correctly. Three years old. Meanwhile, this 3-year-old child can select larger or smaller objects correctly. In daily life, 2-year-old children may use the word large to refer to something unquestionably large, such as an elephant, but it takes time for children to understand comparative expressions such as larger and smaller, longer and shorter, and heavier and lighter. 3 years old.
хамгийн олон.
Олон.
Оо сайн байна. За энэ тоглож байгаа хүн хэм бэ? Аль нь тоглож байна? Оо сайн. Аль нь алхаж байна?
Энэ.
Сайн байна. Өндөр нь аль вэ?
Өндөр.
Энэ. Наад энэ юу илээ?
Энэ. Анааш.
Анааш. Халуун нь аль вэ? Халуун гэдэг нь юм байна. Хүйтний нь аль юм? Хүйтэн. Аль нь хүйтэн блэ?
Энэ.
Энэ юу юм?
Марвужин.
4 years old. Though there are individual differences from the age of around 3, the number of words, including nouns and adjectives, that children can understand and use increases, and they also become able to compose 2- and 3-word utterances combining words of different parts of speech.
Энэ халуун гэдэг. Хүйтэн тэгвэл. Хүйтэн.
Understanding colors. 3 to 4 years old. Also from around the age of 3, children begin to use abstract words such as the names of colors, beginning with items that are familiar to them. In addition, they master more and more words expressing time and location, as well as words expressing emotion.
Энэ шарангүй. Шаран. Энэ
Саа.
улаан
Тингэр.
Энэ ямар өнгө?
Энэ. Оо улаан шаран.
Улаан шаран. Шаран. Ногоон өнгө. Улаан. Ямар. За тэгвэл ихчтэй хэлээрээ заа юу. За энэ ямар өнгө вэ?
Тингэр.
Тэгэхээр энэ ямар өнгө? Ямар өнгө лээ?
Шар.
Шар. Энэ
Ногоон.
ногоон мөн үү? Ногоон мөн үү? Ногоон чинь шүү дээ, ногоон. Энэ ямар өнгө лээ?
Шар.
Ямар өнгө лээ?
Answering simple questions. 3 to 4 years old. Let's look at the development of simple question and answer interactions. At around the age of 3, children tend to respond to questions in a self-centered way and say what they know and want to talk about without understanding the questions.
Улаан өнгөө. Чи эрэгтэй юм уу, эмэгтэй юм уу?
Улаан.
За чиний нэр хин гэдэг?
Тэгвэл.
4-year-old children, on the other hand, can respond appropriately to questions asked by others. Communication through picture books. 11 months old. Let's look at the development of the relationship with picture books. Picture books play an important role for babies and young children in facilitating the development of their bond with adults and the development of cognition and language. This 11-month-old baby is at the stage of enjoying holding the picture book and turning its pages rather than enjoying the pictures in the book. 2 years old. Children at around the age of 2 years become interested in the pictures in the picture books and enjoy the interaction with their mother as they point at the pictures and utter sounds while looking at the book together. 3 years old. By the age of 3, like this child in the video, children have developed the ability to talk with an adult about the pictures and stories in the picture book.
Ингээд авах гэж.
Авах гэж юу авах гэж байгаа мөр? Мөр юу авах гэж? Энэ юу илээ?
Бөөрөнхөө юм авах.
Бөөрөнхий утас байна те?
Бөөрөнхөө утаг авах гэж.
Авах гэж юм, тоглох гэж юм те?
4 years old. When children reach 4 years of age, they begin to be interested in the stories in the picture books. They can sit still to listen to the stories told by an adult and have a conversation with an adult about the stories.
За, энэ юу вэ? Эртэмтгсэн. Муужгаа яаж ийн энд?
Бөмбөг тоглох гэж.
Бөмбөгөөр тоглох гэж юм те? Энэ сандал нь яасан бэ? Сандал унтсан биш үү? Энэ тэгсэн чинь бас
Цэцэг унтсан.
Цэцэг нь бас унгаагаа ичсэн байна. Энэ муур унгаасан байгаа тий. Муур тоглож байгаа төрсгөөтж байгаа тийм цэцэг унгаагаа сандал унгаагаа ичсэн биш үү? Энэ юу вэ? Шувуу юу идэж чинь энд? Цас идэж байгаа юм болов уу?
Цас идэж байгаа.
Энэ цагаан юу юм? Цас байна тий. Цас орсон гэдэг чи ямар үлрэл байх вэ? Өвөл цас ордог тий. Тийм шүү дээ.
Understanding numbers. 2 years old. Let's look at the development of the understanding of number. This 2-year-old child does not seem to understand the correspondence between number and quantity. Three years old. This 3-year-old child can count up to 3 in the correct ascending order.
Хэдэлээ? 3 хэлэхгүй шүү. За энэ хэдэлээ? 40 юм уу? 4 ширхэг те? 4 ширхэг. Хэдэлээ? Энийг хараач. 1 бомбей нараа. Бомба 1 2 3 4 5 6.
4 years old. This older child at 4 years old was able to count up to 8 in ascending order. But when given the task of picking up a given number of blocks, he managed to pick up the correct number of blocks only when given number was 1, 2 or 3. When the given number was 4 or larger, the child picked up more than the given number of blocks. This shows that it is more difficult to relate the understanding of number with that of quantity than it is to recite or count numbers in ascending order. Chapter 6. Social Interaction. Attachment Formation. 1 month old. The social development of children begins with the formation of a bond or emotional connection with specific persons. The vision of a newborn babies is underdeveloped and they cannot see objects clearly, but they look straight at the faces of the person holding them in their arms. Babies of this age still do not smile when they are cuddled, but they pay attention to the movement of lips and to the sounds that the person cuddling them makes. 3 months old. Babies begin to gaze intently at people's faces and smile when they are cuddled at around the age of 3 months. This smile is called a social smile and is distinguished from the spontaneous smile seen in sleeping newborn babies. 5 months old. At around the age of 5 months, babies are very pleased when they're cuddled and enjoy uttering various sounds in response to the voice of the person holding them. They begin to express their feelings with vocalization. For example, they cry fretfully when they want to be cuddled and laugh when they're happy.
Ээжийг нь дуудаад.
Four months old. Let's look at babies' reactions to strangers. Some babies begin to differentiate between people they are familiar with and strangers as early as the age of 4 months. This baby is being held by a man he doesn't know. He is turning his head and trying to find his mother. Even after the mother has moved out of sight, the baby still will not look at the man's face and appears tense. 6 months old. This 6-month-old baby is also averting his eyes from the man, but the baby doesn't seem about to cry. Babies at this age begin to be shy of strangers and look unhappy or cry when they are held or cuddled by strangers.
하는
11 months old. Once a baby is able to sit by itself and crawl, it's able to play a short distance from its mother. However, when a strange man approaches the baby shows uneasiness and returns to its mother. This illustrates how the mother begins to serve as a safety zone for the baby once the bond with the mother has been established. (11 months old). To confirm that the mother serves as a safety zone, she is asked to disappear quietly while her baby is playing alone. The baby notices that the mother is not around, looks anxiously around to find her, and eventually begins to cry to call her. This shows that the mother provides reassurance to the baby. Through this process of bonding, by the age of around 3, the child has established a basic relationship of trust with the mother and is able to remain calm even when the mother is not always in sight. Imitating. 6 months old. Let's look at the development of the ability to imitate. Babies learn a lot by observing adults and other children around them and imitating their behavior. When you wave your hand or clench and unclench your fist in front of a 6-month-old baby, the baby watches the hand movement closely but makes no attempt to imitate it. 8 months old. This 8-month-old baby is imitating his mother clapping her hands. 9 months old. This 9-month-old baby can imitate 2 movements, clapping and clenching, unclenching the hands. 10 2 years old. Babies learn not only hand movements, but also how to use tools by imitating what adults do.
Халбаараа хийн штэ даваа гэлээ. Бүгдийг хийн.
Playing with a ball, 8 months old. Let's look at the development of personal interactions with others using an object, in this case a ball. This 8 months old baby makes no attempt to hand over the ball even when the adult gestures, "Please give me the ball."
Дургүйна.
10 months old. This 10 months old baby kicks back the ball rolled to her by an adult and seems to be waiting for the ball to be rolled to her again by the adult. This baby seems to be able to enjoy interaction with the adult using the ball. Two years old. This 2-year-old child cannot yet handle the ball well, but she seems to be really enjoying playing with the ball with her mother. Playing with friends, 8 to 11 months old. Let's look at children's interactions with other children of the same age. When children aged around 1 year are in the same place, each child plays with his or her own toy and there is no interaction between them. As children of this age still feel uneasy when their mothers are not around, some of them start crying to call their mothers to them. They have not yet reached the stage of being able to play together. 3 years old. At around the age of 3 years, children begin to interact with one another and are able to play together with the same toy without the presence of an adult.
Сая чөлтөр юу?